We want to now go to Ambassador John Herbst. He is joining us to talk more about the diplomatic side of the war in Ukraine.
That's right. He is the senior director of the Atlantic Council's Eurasia Center and served as the U.S. ambassador to Ukraine from 2003 to 2006. Ambassador Herbst, thank you for being with us today. We want to get your thoughts on the call today between President Biden and Chinese President Xi. Do you think that it's helpful if reports are true and that the U.S. is effectively saying to China, do not blunt the force of sanctions against Russia? What are your thoughts on that?
I think that it made sense for Biden to call Xi because there are two things. One, as you mentioned, that Russia may get some support from Ukraine in avoiding sanctions. And two, that Russia may be running out of what the arms they need to conduct their new invasion of Ukraine, and they're seeking additional arms from China. So for Biden to remind Xi, we're watching this very carefully. There'll be consequences if Russia receives help either on the military or the sanction side from China.
Ambassador, have President Putin's demands and intentions changed at all? Or do you think he is still on the same path he was before the invasion? We keep hearing about the possibility of that terrifying threat of nuclear weapons getting in the mix here.
Putin has very effectively, over the course of his career, achieved important objectives by threatening escalation of some kind. In this crisis, the only real escalation he can threaten, because he has to worry about NATO, is the nuclear option. But we need to understand that we are a nuclear power too, and as a conventional force, NATO is much stronger than Russia, and we should not be deterred from pursuing our interests because Putin is waving a nuclear wand. It's as dangerous for him as it is for us.
Knowing what you know about the psychology of President Putin, what is the diplomatic solution out of this conflict? What will it take, in your view, at this stage where Putin does appear to be losing lives, losing support? What would it take to end this as far as what Putin wants?
Look, he's still hoping to achieve his maximalist objective. That was the point of his rally today in Moscow. But it is true he realizes his forces are bogged down, even if he cannot admit it. I think the only solution for us is to continue sending Ukraine as much military support as possible. We need to send more, again, high-altitude anti-aircraft systems. We need to send ship killers, missiles that can kill the ships in the Black Sea, the Russian ships that are bombarding Odessa, and make it very clear to Putin he will not get his way via this aggression. Then he might be willing to accept negotiated terms which suit our interests, Ukraine's interests, as well as, I would say, broader Russian interests, but not in Putin's aggressive demands.
And Ambassador, we've seen just these awful destructive pictures, for weeks now, and scores of refugees crossing over the border. If there is a ceasefire, how can the Ukrainian government essentially recover from all of this?
Well, I think any peace settlement must require Russian reparations for at this point, $500 billion worth of damage they have done to Ukraine. Fortunately, as part of the strong Western sanctions, and you have to give the Biden team credit for this, there's at least $300, if not $400 billion of Russian reserves, which are right now in Western banks. Those can be used for the rebuilding of Ukraine.
You just hope we get to that diplomatic solution as soon as possible. There is so much suffering there on the ground among women and children, despite those Ukrainian forces. Ambassador Herbst, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.